Hey everyone, welcome to another Goody Reader comparison video. My name is Michael.
My name's Peter.
We have here today the Kobo Glow HD
On
versus
the right.
the Kobo Touch 2.0.
On the left.
The Kobo Touch 2.0 just came out.
Yes.
It's only available in Canada at the moment for about $89 Canadian, which is 61 US, versus the Glow HD, which is about $129
Yes.
or so, which is like roughly about 99 to about 100 US.
Correct.
So the advantages of the Glow HD is that it has high resolution. It's 1448 by 1072 at 300 ppi, and it has a front lit display allowing you to read in the dark. The Kobo Touch 2.0 is 800 by 600, has no front lit display, but is resolution everything? Well, purpose of today's comparison is to read ebooks and to put the books side by side to see does the Kobo Glow HD look a little bit more high def or not.
Right.
So before we get into that, let's look at the hardware. On cursory glance, it looks the same.
It sure does. We'll explain why. What happened is that Kobo decided they'll use the Kobo Glow plastic on the Kobo Touch 2.0.
So it's using the same shell.
And you can tell that by reading the numbers right here on the bottom. It'll actually say, it's kind of hard to see, it's etched, CE0560. That's the exact same plastic chassis code as the Kobo Touch 2.0. So they're running the same exact plastic, same exact screen size, a little bit different resolution and technology there. The backing is where it gets different on the aesthetics. The backing of the Kobo Touch 2.0 is this kind of thin sandpapery feel. It leaves virtually no fingerprints or dust because it's very resistant to all that. Rakuten logo at the bottom, embossed Kobo.
It's kind of angular here.
Yeah, it's nice. It gives a little bit of a asymmetrical feel.
Yeah.
Kobo logo embossed there, and the Kobo Glow HD leaves tons of fingerprints.
Yeah,
tons of dirt.
Yeah.
Dirt gets like stuck in the little perforated holes. It's a fake kind of leather perforated look to the back. It's all swirly and
not a fan.
It's a nice look, but man, does it get dirty and
Yeah.
scratched and just filthy really quickly. And humans have finger oils, and it attaches it like bees on a hive.
The UI is more or less the same on these in terms of the options that you have available. But one thing I'd like to point out before we sort of get into that all is that you can see here that this is smaller, this pop-up window,
right?
And this is like larger.
Yeah.
It's because it has like lower resolution, so you kind of need to make everything a little bit bigger in order for it to look good.
Yeah.
If you look at like the home button versus the home button here,
And like the lines here, look how
the
like
battery
bold
symbol
almost.
is like 2 times or maybe even 3 times larger on the Kobo Touch 2.0 as it is here.
And of course, we don't have a sun symbol on the Kobo 2.0 because there's no glow light.
Right. So let's take a look at like the settings menu, and you could see really what we mean. Everything's much smaller here.
Yeah.
And everything is much larger here,
Huge.
which it kind of makes it stand out more. But when you look at options such as the reading settings, you can see here where Kobo will fit more on the screen here and fit less here. One thing about the reading settings is that you do have options on here, pinch to adjust font size,
Right there.
and a few other options.
And they had to stash reading progress on the second page because there wasn't enough room to fit it. So you can see they have the stats and awards the same, but you actually do get pinch to adjust font size that is on the Glow exclusively, not available on the 2.0.
Let's take a look at the web browser. This is something that people often ask us to take a look at.
Kobo devices are notorious for turning off the Wi-Fi to make it a lot better for the battery life.
All right, I'm just going to do a search for Goody Reader.
And let's hold it on the keyboard after you do that, because we'll take a look at the keyboards as well.
Oops.
That's all good. Let's do a search. So we'll go to goodyreader.com, and then we'll get a box of text to see some.
Oh, so it loads up our mobile view.
There you go.
That's awesome.
But you can see once again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 articles fitting here and only 2 there. So what we'll do is look at the keyboards really quick. Everything's going to be smaller on this because of the resolution. Now, keyboards on Kobo have always been QWERTY, but they're not really because they're gridded. They're not staggered, so the Q and the A are right on top of each other. That's never really been that way. We've already typed Goody Reader so you can get a sense of how responsive they are. Kobo has a lot of secondary and tertiary character sets because they're relevant in many different languages and markets. You can see
plus
upside
it's
down.
maybe good for passwords too.
Yeah. Upside down question marks and just things you don't get usually on other devices. So those are the keyboard experiences. So we'll click on an article.
Oops.
Yeah, one of the clicks was to get out of the keyboard there. So you can see we're loading up top there. Speed test.
Yeah, so you can tell even with like a mobile version of a site, it's slow going.
This got here really quick though.
Yeah.
By the way, Amazon's releasing a $50 Fire tablet. You can read all about it on Goody Reader. What the heck? 2.0? Come on.
Yeah, so you can see that this did load up pretty quickly on the Glow HD, but the Kobo Touch is really struggling. So let's write this off to like the web browser is a little bit more solid on the Glow HD.
It certainly is, and this was a raw, unedited test.
Right. So everything, like we said about like the UI, pretty well the same.
Yep, same amount of options for everything. Oh, you actually get dictionary under extras on the Glow, but you don't get it on the 2.0.
No.
Ew.
One thing about the store that I've always liked is a lot of the sort of ebook discovery type of things.
So you have things like recommended for you have things like related reading, which will look at the book you have on your device.
That you purchased from Kobo, so it doesn't read...
Side-loaded.
Yeah.
And then it'll give you recommendations on that, recommended, storefront, all that kind of stuff.
You could even, instead of buying it, you can view details, review it, or download a free preview. And any preview that you download will appear under here.
You got it.
And then if you want to delete the previews under settings, under library settings, there's option here to delete previews, import items, download Kobo eBooks, as well as remove all of that type of stuff as well. Let's take a look at the e-reading experience, because these are e-readers first and foremost. Okay, upon first glance,
I think
does resolution make a difference when you're looking at an ebook?
I think it does, because man, these are just more black, and why they're more black is because they're more contained. You know what I mean? The letters are crisp, so you get that harsh difference between the letter and the background. This one's kind of blended because it's a softer. All the characters are softer because the resolution's smaller, which means everything's more fuzzy. It blends in and it becomes more fuzzy and gray and hard to see.
All right, let's jack up the fonts a little bit to see like if that makes a difference.
Well, let's jack up the fonts all the way. Then we can get a good idea. Yeah, there's a good example. You can see how black these are, but on all the curved letters like the S and the C, around the edges, they're kind of fuzzy. This is definitely a black on white feel more than this.
All right.
You're right, Peter. Oh, please, Michael. Please stop.
Fine work, young man.
So we got line spacing, we have margins, everything changes live, we have justification, center, left. Kobo goes into the advanced section as well, where you can change all of these settings and the different types of fonts and see what everything's going to look at before and after. So you can see we've put a lot more weight to it here, and we've made it more crisp and a smaller font, so you can apply those and you can kind of get an idea of where you want to customize your text to be.
Yeah, so a lot of e-readers, it's sort of like if you want to make changes, it affects the entire device or any future book you open. So this is like a kind of a cool way that you can play around with some settings without you having to spend a few minutes reverting it all again.
Exactly. So we'll do a highlight, we'll do a note, bibbidi bobbidi boo, save. So you can see those highlights keep there. You can press the corner to do bookmarks. You can press and hold either device. It will bring up a quick dictionary definition. You can search Wikipedia, InBook, Google, or share on Facebook a passage you might like from a book or whatever. Hey, check this book out.
Both of these e-readers have the ability to access more than just one dictionary.
Yeah.
And unlike a real book, you can instantly do settings if you want, which is cool.
Kobo is relevant in a lot of different languages in a lot of different countries, so they make it easy to go from French to German to Spanish and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of Kobo's biggest strengths is international expansion,
exactly,
and partnering with bookstores.
Yeah.
So you could walk into a Funak, or you could walk into like any type of bookstore in Australia, in Japan, and buy these instead of it being like at tech stores.
Yes.
They
which also have them.
Yeah, they do, but I think Kobo's biggest strength is their partnerships with international bookstores.
Exactly.
You sell the e-readers where the readers are.
Exactly. So people see a book and they're like, well, if I have an e-reader and I'm reading and I don't understand a word, I can define it. I can look it up.
And in a lot of cases, ebooks are cheaper than print.
Exactly.
Especially with hardcovers coming out, they're like $35, $30,
Right, what the
and then
heck?
you could buy the ebook for like anywhere between $9.99 and about $14.99 is the new average.
Exactly. This is a PDF. This is the Dungeons and Dragons Monsters Manual. We use this because it has an even mix of pictures, grays, headers, graphics.
It's complex.
Yeah. So we'll do some pinch and zooms. With Kobo devices, they kind of blur out and go into this dotty
But
feel.
look how, when you're pinching and zooming, this is like, you're
Broken.
pinching and zooming like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's all fuzzy and stuff, but when you pinch and zoom like on here, it's not...
Right.
It's not like this.
And why this is because on the Kobo 2.0, they're not trying to retain the quality of the image while you're moving it. It's only full quality when you let go. Whereas Kobo Glow HD tries to preserve as much quality as possible, but you end up getting a slower experience. So we'll go and zoom in on this lovely fellow you'd love to run into in a dark alley at night, and you'll see.
I have.
Oh yeah, great.
The drunken stupors.
He's got skulls hanging from his crotch and looks like a bear trap.
Well, I mean, if you look like that, why would you say wear, the old boxer shorts versus briefs argument?
That's
it's like,
true.
well, I could just wear a bunch of skulls to cover my
Skulls
dong.
of my enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like he's all muscle. He doesn't have skin or anything. He's just exposed muscle. Could be the nicest guy ever, though. We don't know.
He's kind of hunchbacked, and he has like huge shoulders, but he's not wearing shoulder pads.
No, it's true because he's all strength. Anyways, it looks really good on both devices. Once again, this is more fuzzy and it's a lower res, so it's gonna look more blurred. Whereas you get a very harsh distinction between the blacks and whites on this one.
So obviously, if I would say if the PDF experience matters to you, spend the extra money and get the Glow HD.
Yes, and you can read it at night.
Yeah.
So.
And that's important because, like, when you're reading a book, you can turn the light off by just swiping in a corner here.
Exactly.
Which, we're in a very light room, so you can't really see. But this is a kind of a cool way that you could adjust the light in an ebook without having to hit here,
hit the little sunshine icon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, so in this comparison video, what I'd like to kind of summarize is that with the web browsing experience, we saw that the Glow HD was superior.
Yes.
It loads things up quicker.
Yes.
Whereas like the Kobo Touch struggled. With the PDF experience, the Glow HD is better.
Yep.
Because
it's a clearer image.
Yeah.
It retains most of its pre-rendered picture while you're navigating in the page, whereas the Kobo 2.0 just kind of blurs it out and you don't know what you're looking at.
Right. When it comes to ebooks, I would say again, the advantage goes to Glow HD, but slightly.
Yeah.
If you're just buying books from Kobo or loading in your own ebooks, the reading experience is more or less the same.
Pretty much. You get the same options.
Yeah. I mean, my advice is to spend the extra money and get the Glow HD.
Yeah, because this is the selling point for the Kobo 2.0 is that it's remarkably cheap and it's trying to undercut a whole bunch of people and it's just very affordable.
Especially with Amazon with the basic. It's $10 cheaper.
Exactly, but you sacrifice stuff. If you just spend the extra, if you're already spending the money to get something like this, spend the extra $40 and get this because you get the glow light, you get the more refined feel, you get the extra features, you get the better resolution.
Yeah.
I think it's worth the upgrade.
Resolution did make a difference when it comes to ebooks and for pictures and PDFs and everything like that. that. So
Not to say that this isn't a good device and it makes a quick gift or something.
it's an entry-level e-reader.
Yeah, it is.
This is the Kobo Touch 2.0 is perfect for people that had the original Kobo Touch or had an older Kobo, like one of the
Correct.
first or second generation
absolutely,
models.
yeah.
Like this is light years ahead of like previous entry-level e-readers that Kobo has released
Sure.
over the years. So if you want like a cheap upgrade path and you're just using it to just read ebooks, like while commuting,
Yep.
or like, you know, just general day-to-day type things, outdoors in the sun,
Yes.
well-lit environments,
Yep.
this is good.
Sure.
The Kobo Glow HD, I think, provides a superior reading experience, but it does come with an extra cost. But it has more of a multifunction in terms of you're not limited to reading in bright rooms.
Yep.
You could turn on the light and read in low light conditions.
It's just more of an all-arounder.
Yeah.
It's an all-weather device.
All right, so you've heard our thoughts.
Yep.
Let's hear yours. Drop a comment below on this YouTube video. If you're watching this video on another channel, youtube.com/goodyreader is our channel name.
And if there's anything you want us to compare this to, or you want us to explore a little bit more in depth, the Kobo Touch 2.0, please let us know. If you want a web browser test, if you want a speed test, because this device is rather new. If you wanted to see anything that says, hey, this is going to make or break my decision, let us know. Give us a comment. We'll make time for the video.
Yeah. So for a comparison video on the Kobo Touch 2.0 versus the Kobo Glow HD, my name is Michael.
My name's Peter.
Everybody take care.